It's the one town.
And yet,
Let's get some.
we made a mess of that town.
This quasi-real horse-like creature.
Actions here. What is Birdie doing this afternoon here in the Kovnos?
Well, I was trying to. It's going to depend on what Adrex is doing.
What is Adrex doing this afternoon? Adrex, you're coming down from like the. Thanks for burping and interrupting me.
He was
I was
getting in
role-playing.
character.
I'm role playing.
There's a mute button on your microphone.
I'm role playing.
Oh my goodness. You're coming down from like the euphoria and the feeling of camaraderie, but you are very, very drunk.
Hmm.
It's been a while since Adrex has gotten drunk. He's supposed to be a brewer, yeah?
He lost his brewing supplies in a
Yeah. That sounds like a great
Kobolds
idea.
are getting
Let's
wasted
go.
now.
Hey, Birdie, let's go hunting for brewing supplies.
Like, Birdie is trying to tell him about the. Birdie is following Adrex and trying to tell him about the black dragonborn that he saw and trying to get his help to, like, I don't know, like approach him or whatever. And
Okay, so Adrex, you're going to spend the afternoon purchasing more brewing supplies, and Birdie, you're going to tag along with him?
yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get him to listen to me.
What is Gwu's afternoon action? This is after you have negotiated the purchase of these servants. They're going to stay working in the fields until such a time as the deceit is ready to leave.
Okay.
And then they'll be relinquished over to your control. You also have not yet brought Nem back over from the deceit.
That's probably what Goo would do next.
Okay?
I am a little disappointed you didn't sell Birdie into slavery. That would have been hilarious.
What is Red doing this afternoon?
Red is going to go to the cheapest tavern in town and try and gather information about that lighthouse building.
Okay, so that's going to be going over to... Tech Regs. And what's Windy doing this afternoon? Windy, you are very sleepy.
Yeah. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. So, I got training
He's
In-
role-playing.
painter supplies, right? But I can't see. But sight is just a sense. So I need to know how to paint without using colors.
I feel like maybe you misunderstood the question. The question was, what is Windy doing this afternoon?
Okay. Okay, what?
Oh, Jesus, we're all going on this journey with you, aren't we? We're all on
No,
the bus.
okay. Alright, so... sound is made when
Okay,
wind
I'm just going to put down
passes through
question
an
marks.
object.
And
So if I just go buy some objects that make different sounds, I can paint without colors.
Birdie,
Yes.
after a quick, just a few moments of information gathering, the place to purchase brewing supplies would probably be at the bazaar. So as you follow Adrex out, you realize he's headed directly back towards the damned minnow,
Okay.
where you just escaped from a few moments prior. So we'll do you guys first. What do you tell Adrex?
Like, I'm telling him everything, but he's not listening. Like I said, I'm trying to tell him everything. Whether or not he listens is up to him. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how drunk is Adrex?
5 or a 6. He's real tipsy.
Okay.
He's getting there. I mean, he only was able to. He only had 2 shots of his bottle because he was compelled to give the rest away. But this is the good Feywild shit.
Every now and then, Adrex is amazed by his tail and chases it for a moment or two.
Birdie, you get some very strange looks from the other pirates when this happens.
I
All right.
I don't know
Alright.
what to do. I'm sorry.
Okay. Start at the beginning.
There's a Dragonborn on the ship. The big ship over there, where the bazaar is, where we can get you some brew supplies.
Okay.
I
And
recognize him,
Okay.
and I need you to come with me to intimidate him, or not intimidate, to make. I'm trying to to offset my anti-intimidation,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can speak with him on more equal terms.
Adrex picks his nose. And what do you want me to do?
Birdie inhales sharply and goes, "Where's Red?"
No, I don't.
I need you to stand there and glower. I'd ask Raazu to do it, but she's dead.
Glower. I can glower. Watch, I'll glower right now.
He's glowering with his finger in his nose.
Yeah.
Close enough. Let's go.
And as you guys approach the
Okay.
gangplank, the guard at the front of the gangplank directs his attention to Adrex, and he calls out, "Having difficulty walking a straight line there, sailor?"
Nah. I'm as judge as a sober. Sober's a judge. I'm fine.
And then he glances down at Birdie, says, "Maybe tell your mate to go sleep it off and come back when he's in more of a state."
He wants to buy things. I'm just... You think I can get him to lay down? Look at me.
Says if he falls over or vomits, we're stringing you up.
Why me? I'm just making sure he doesn't fall in the ocean.
And then he steps aside and lets the two of you pass. But the implication is that you're
his chaperone.
you're chaperoning the drunkard up onto the damned minnow.
Yes, okay. Letting Birdie chaperone Adrex. This is going to end fantastically.
I feel like last time this similar situation happened, you guys got on contract with some Feywild guy to kill a giant or something. Adrex, you can purchase brewer supplies. I think they give a price for those in the PHP, right?
Yeah, I gotta.
Let's call it a 20% markup because you're buying it at a pirate bazaar.
Also, he's drunk.
Well, yeah, but Birdie's right there. Birdie's not going to let him get ripped off.
Yes, I will.
Okay, let's call it a 30% markup.
There you go.
You know,
Wow.
you ask Adrex for a favor.
You don't know I'm letting you get ripped off.
Birdie,
Wait!
make a perception check.
Okay. That is a 17.
Okay.
Like, just consider it tax for having to deal with your drunk ass.
Oh! Maybe I'll let that Dragonborn eat you. Maybe he can roast you over a spit.
As you're going around collecting the various supplies that Adrex needs, you notice that Kausvin is here on the deck. And once he sees you and Adrex, he starts making his way towards this northern gangplank here.
And that is the bugbear?
That's one of Nox's bugbears.
Okay. So like he's running away from us.
He's not
basically.
running. He's noticed you, and then you see him kind of make his way towards that gangplank. But no, he's not.
Okay.
He's not running.
Like Birdie will like elbow Adrex and point at the bugbear and say that like he was meeting with the Dragonborn.
And yeah, Adrex, you recognize this bugbear from the deceit.
Adrex scratches his head a little bit. I guess we follow him? Is that what you want?
I think our best bet is to actually speak to Handax.
Who's Handax?
He's the black Dragonborn that used to work for the dragon guy, the dragon in my swamp.
His name is Handax?
Yeah, I think you'll like him.
Alright.
Yeah, don't get cut though. He likes to poison his weapons. He's like an evil, like red mixed version of you.
And Adrex takes a moment to think about that.
And you're gonna go try to find hand axe? How do you do this?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would know. Maybe we should follow the bugbear and ask him where hand axe is.
All right,
But,
all right.
Let's see.
Adrex is carrying the brewing supplies like in his arms, like crossed across his chest.
Yeah, let's follow the bugbear.
Making it incredibly difficult to glower.
We're just we're following the bugbear. Like at this point, I don't think they're doing any. I want to approach the bugbear.
Okay.
I don't actually want to.
Shadowing this
follow
bugbear
him.
is out of the question because you've got Adrex with you.
Yeah, I know. I want to actually approach the bugbear and ask him.
So you catch up with him?
Yeah.
You get to the bottom of the gangplank. When he realizes you're following him, he turns around and he waits to intercept you. And he looks Adrex up and down as Adrex is kind of swaying with arms filled with brewing supplies.
I can
he looks a little
professionally make
impressed.
brew. Adrex says sheepishly.
He says what?
I can actually make beer. So, you know.
He asks if you make it as fast as you drink it.
No.
Birdie
It really
mouths.
takes time.
Birdie mouths save me at the bugbear. No. Birdie says, "I have a question for you. So, I saw a black dragonborn around here that I actually recognize from where I'm from, and I believe his name is Handax. Do you happen to know where I can actually speak with him?"
You see him think for a moment. He says, "I don't believe I know any hand axe."
Really? Okay. Well, thank you for your help, though.
Sorry I couldn't have done more. I look forward to that
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you got it.
And then he turns and hurries on his way.
Adrex gives a look to Birdie, raised eyebrows.
We need to go find Red, like, right now.
We don't need to find Red. I can do this. As one of the beakers slips out of his arms and crashes to the ground.
So what do you do with all this stuff? Because before you were able to pack it and carry it, but it was very heavy and it could be difficult to move around with.
We should drop it off on the ship if we can.
Okay, so you're gonna head back to the shore.
Yeah.
And go load up the ship. Okay.
And then we can go find his BFF hand axe.
Woo.
Hey.
You head back out to the Deceit. Speak with Noakes. Do you hand him over the 10 gold that you received?
Less the contract, the amount to buy out the other's contracts.
Okay. And he lets you keep 1 gold for your part in the work. Doing the legwork back and
Thank
forth.
You. Yeah.
But yeah, he has them dragged up to one of the longboats in Manacles, and he's not looking none too happy.
March him back down, take him back down to Bosun Bob.
Okay, you march him through the city, and it does turn a couple of eyes when anytime somebody sees someone in chains being marched over to Bob's. It's a bit of a spectacle. You transact with Bob, and then disappears back out into the fields. Shortly after you leave Bo's and Bob's, your bugbear brother, Kausvin, catches up with you. So we might have a problem.
What's up, Kausvin?
The little kobold, Birdie.
What about him?
He's got that Dragonborn, the white one, wrapped around his little claw. We need to separate them. Get that Kobold alone and ask him a few pointed questions about where he's sticking his nose.
Okay.
And he relays that he was at Nox's behest, meeting with Handax earlier aboard the Minnow.
Mm-hmm.
And Handax stepped out to smoke for a moment. When he came back in and closed the door behind him, it opened a crack and then slammed again very quickly. Cowsman went out to see what the commotion was, and he saw Birdie fleeing from the Minnow.
All right. What'd you have in mind?
It's the only time those two aren't together, it seems, is when they're working aboard the ship. But if we wait until we set sail again, it will be too late.
Maybe if we recall the two of them for some kind of duty? Or just Adrex, do you think?
I think that one will be easy to trick.
Yeah.
He says, here's what
So
he's going to do.
Maybe an injury on the ship, you think?
Well, he likes injuries. He wants to hear where this is going.
Well, I mean... look at the, well, shit, there's... Maybe one of the orcs gets a sprain or something. Gets an arm knocked out of the socket.
I don't think that's what he had in mind for injury.
So the only orc who's really left is the orc Grogvan, because one of them died and one of them had his head half caved in.
Yeah.
I mean, if he knows the orc, if we wait till this evening, we'll find him 3 sheets somewhere in town. Mangle him a little bit. Leave him out. Maybe Adrex will feel compelled to take him back and ply his trade. And that'll leave the little kobold undefended.
I thought you were going to attack Adrex.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Let's do it.
He says that Noakes really can't afford having any of these newcomers, especially considering that a chair has opened up on the council very recently. Certainly you see the heaviness of the situation.
Yeah.
All right, then he looks forward to jumping this poor orc later this evening. What do you do with the rest of the afternoon after bringing them back and then having this conversation with Houseman?
Did he say he wanted to do this later this evening? Jump this orc?
Yeah, he's sure you guys will be able to find Grogvan behind one of the taverns 3 sheets to the wind.
Okay.
And it'll be real easy to injure him without anybody knowing it was you.
Sure.
Red.
All right, that sounds good.
Going up to Tech Regs.
Yep.
Tech Regs is run by a Hobgoblin deserter.
Mm-hmm.
Ever present at the tavern are a pair of bugbears, male and female, named Ruggs and Grants.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically the bouncers. This is the rowdiest little pub in town. It's where the cheapest ale is. There's always people here getting real crunk.
Okay.
Make a investigation check.
It's a 24.
24. You tumble into an open secret in the Kovnos, something that kind of everybody understands, but mostly turns a blind eye to. Tekrig offers a particular service in his establishment. He can solve disputes by, quote-unquote, organizing violence. He ensures that a fight ensues at his tavern, and that the loser is made to look like the instigator, and usually is killed by these two bugbears. So if there's a person on your crew that you really have beef with, you can slide some gold over to Tekrig, and when they come around for their drink, Tekrig can solve the problem for you without running afoul of the council's rules against violence. And this is information you kind of tumble into before you arrive here at the pub.
Okay.
The place is a buzz of all kinds of rumors and lies on all the various ships and their exploits out to sea over the past several months, as sailors are wont to do. What kind of information are you looking to gather?
So the three things I'm interested in are one, what the general people who aren't on our crew, if they know anything about the Blue Nixie yet.
Okay.
Two, anything about that tower, and three, anything about that. You said it was a fat rat man.
Yeah, the one who jumped off the pier rather than
Anything about that person, that individual.
Okay.
And I would be able. My plan is to spread around about 5 gold obviously in silver, buying drinks to loosen people up.
Okay, and you have no shortage of takers. Make an insight check. Let's see how well you are separating the lies from the facts here.
18?
It was what?
No, it's not. Give me a second. Let's do 4 blips. That becomes a 29.
29. Okay. Word of the Blue Nixie is starting to spread through town. And tracing the information back, there are some rumors about the Blue Nixie was taken over by a demon. It was manned entirely by dead men. It seems like most of the lies that you're hearing tell about the Blue Nixie, the embellishments, because it wasn't entirely taken over by dead men. It still had some crew. There was definitely something weird and foul going on. But the origin is people from your crew, people who fought and took part in the bounty, and the general consensus is that, yeah, if the Blue Nixie did in fact attack the Butt Pirates, they're glad that their next encounter was with a ship like the Deceit that had both the manpower and the conviction to sink it. So not only do people starting to learn about the Blue Nixie, but they're looking upon it as kind of a favorable thing.
Mm-hmm.
The tower in the center of the map is known to be the home of an old rat folk named Marvin. Marvin is a man who knows things. Anytime you need a little something, a little information, Marvin is the guy who accumulates it. Actually, approaching Marvin is a bad idea because just going into the tower is going to draw attention. Everybody's going to be, who is this Yuan-ti that nobody's seeing before, and why? What is he getting from Marvin that I don't have?
Mm-hmm.
Marvin has 3 sons, Lolo, Zin, and Fat Marvin. Guess which one you ran into? Their job is to kind of go out in the town anytime new ships arrive, cast out feelers, kind of holding impromptu silent auctions here and there, shopping around for the highest bidders they can for their father's information. There are a million different stories over how Marvin learns the things he knows. And what's strange is that you didn't seek any of these sons out, but being chased around town by a fat rat who skittered away as soon as you noticed him You're sure that that was Fat Marvin?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to pick a different third thing, since your second and third thing were kind of tied together?
Yeah, let's go with who in general people suspect might be the new member appointed to the council. What captains are in the running?
Okay. There are 5 different stories, depending on who you talk to. Whether you're talking to like a pirate who's out at sea, who their alliances are with, or whether you're talking to one of the proprietors in town, etc. The first is a 60-year-old woman. The dead councilman's name is Demny Ogden, and this 60-year-old woman is his daughter, Tara Ogden. She has served on many ships, but like her father, she was never a captain. She has the support of her younger sister and a lot of the proprietors here in the Cove. Her reputation is that her skill with a blade is unmatched. She has never known defeat in a sword fight. The second in the running is a half-orc captain who captains a vessel called the Sea Hammer. Not many people know a lot about him. He's kind of a mystery, but he has a lot of muscle and a lot of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the pirates and the citizens in the town, just kind of the rank and file. There's a lot of support for Mom, the proprietor of the boarding house, the argument being that the Cove itself should have representation on the council. A fourth option would be Handax, the Black Dragonborn. He has a reputation for being a poisoner. And he has close friends already in and on the council. The last option is the one that seems to be favored publicly by most of the members of the current council, is an empty chair. The original intent of the council was to have 5 chairs, but a 6th captain muscled his way in and threw his weight around. Their argument basically being, with 5 chairs, it won't be so messy resolving ties. That having a 5-man council would be the best option.
Sorry, who supported Tara Ogden?
She has the support of her sister.
Yep.
I have a name for her, I think, but also a lot of the proprietors in town, the owners and operators of the tavern, the smokehouse, people who work and make their money, a lot of people in the bazaar, mainly because she's known in town. She has a reputation of being fair, and she's the daughter of the councilman that just died.
And then who supports Mom?
Just a lot of the rank and file pirates and crewmen who come in here on leave, just because her boarding house is so well-traveled, and she's very protective of the Cove, and so everybody's very protective of her.
Okay.
Which of these directions does Red find himself leaning, if any?
I mean, the empty chair makes the most logical sense.
Okay. And your name, are you...
Or 2 people.
Or just give one of them 2 votes. Your name becomes known pretty quickly when you show up at the tavern and you start spreading silver around and buying drinks for people. And you find that some of the more drunken louts are becoming more and more chummy with you. And you can tell that people are starting to just try to feed you nonsense information in return for a free drink.
Right.
And you're able to ferret them out because you got a 27 on your insight.
Yeah, because you're not drunk.
I'm immune to poison.
One of these sailors, a goblin who's extremely drunk before he even takes your coin.
Mm-hmm.
He blurts out, he asks you whether or not Old Noakes has sent someone around yet to see Handax. And before you even answer the question, he passes out and is thrown out of the tavern. What is this happening down here?
Drawing a picture of my kobold.
Oh, this.
His name is Joe Bald.
I like how he's carrying a D.
That is obviously a short sword.
I thought you were gonna say bow.
Yeah, short bow. That's it. Yeah.
With an arrow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else
that's
Red is
arrow.
doing this afternoon? Now that I've scrolled
I thought
this
that-
drawing off screen and I'm not distracted by it anymore.
I thought that was a sham.
Are we actively going to try to find hand axe? Is that still happening? After we drop off the supplies?
Well, last I heard, he was going to try to find Red next. Which is why I'm asking Red if there's anything else he wants to do this afternoon before that meeting transpires.
You're asking just red, sorry.
No.
Okay. I hesitate strongly, but
Yeah.
Windy?
Well, first, I can't just leave our good friend Sweetie Bird here, can I?
Well, after 15 or 20 minutes, the sing-song woman comes back and very gently rouses her from slumber. Your time is up and she's kicking you out now, unless you pay for another hour.
Yeah, I don't have the money for that.
Somebody spend it all on pepper.
I gotta spend it all on pepper.
Sweetie Bird doesn't have any coin to purchase a room at the boarding house, so she asks you if you would put her up there.
How much is it?
That's a good question. I have that in my notes here. While she's still high, you should take her over to Bose and Bob and see what you can get for her.
She's not that small.
It depends on the quality of room you want. Like, if you just want a bed in the commons, it'll only be a
Yeah.
few silvers. But if you want, like, a private room, like an officer would take...
Yeah.
A couple of gold pieces, depending on the quality and what services and amenities you require.
I don't require any services except a private room.
Okay.
Brick. They're saying check your stream connection in chat.
Why are they saying that?
I don't know. I'm not buffering and am going fine on my end.
Oh. It's dropping some frames.
Man, those are the good frames too.
Those are all the good
Yeah.
I
frames.
love those frames.
Too bad you missed out. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring the stream back up in a second here.
Alright.
I'll be able to
great
just
for-
give you the raw recording if you need it. Trouble.
Yeah.
So give me 1 second to do that. It says the Twitch machine got unplugged. Try again in a moment. Which,
Oh, jokes.
yeah, that looks like it might be a Twitch issue and not a me
Oopsie
issue for
whoopsie.
once.
Got a little bitty fucky wucky.
Pokedude says it's other channels are working fine. It's something on your end.
That's not on my end. Everything's working fine here. It says I dropped some frames, but that's it.
It's working on my end.
Yeah, it looks
Here's-
fine to me.
That's fine. We'll just
Tell
no big deal.
Pokedude it's on his end.
Yeah. Pokedude's fault. He did it.
Yeah, thanks, Pokedude.
Thanks, Pokedude.
And I got a spinny circle.
It also could be an OBS thing. I accidentally updated OBS today.
Cool.
You fool.
Womp womp.
Oh no, it looks like it's a server issue actually. Okay. Stream service. Why is it trying to connect to San Francisco?
That seems suboptimal, yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that.
It's because all the internet happens in San Francisco.
I guess. It should be connecting to a... I think I usually use a Miami service. I don't know why it's... Okay, there we go. Yeah, for some reason, Twitch was like, let's connect to San Francisco today. And San Francisco's like, I don't even like this brick road asshole.
It's true, I've asked them.
Okay, so I don't know how much stream you guys lost, but 3 other characters just died.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no. Wait, which 3?
Does it matter?
Yes.
No.
We were So Windy,
Killed Red.
2
Yeah.
gold, and you can purchase a private room for the night.
All right.
Prices are a little bit inflated because there are more officers in town right now than usual.
Yeah, that's fair.
Surge pricing, man. Get you every time.
Surge pricing. I'm gonna go investigate my plan with musical instruments.
Dare I ask what the plan is?
Oh, I pretty much gave it. It's not a very detailed plan.
Okay. So you put Sweetie Bird up in this private room.
Yeah. Basically, all Wendy was looking for was a room with a lock.
Okay.
You're not gonna pet the kitty anymore?
No. Well, she's asleep now. Now it would just be weird.
And I have no idea what this plan is, so if you just want to say that you did it,
Yeah.
like,
Sure. Okay. Let's move on.
Red. After you're done at Theckrig's,
Yep.
Birdie and drunk Adrex catch up with you. And Birdie has something very desperate and urgent that he needs to discuss with you.
So there is a black dragonborn that I know from my past, and his name is Handax, and there is something going on with Noakes' crew. I just wanted to speak with Handax, and I was they lied to my face.
Is the passed out goblin outside of the tavern here?
Oh yeah, he's nearby,
Yeah,
Couple of his
I'll
own
point to him. So that goblin, and I'm pretty sure is telling the truth, too drunk to be coming up with anything too imaginative, mentioned something about Noakes and Handax. Also, Handax is apparently looking to do something about the power vacuum in this town. Yeah. Also, you should avoid that tavern if you get any grudges, because they'll happily pay someone to start a fight with you, blame it on you, and then murder you.
Okay, so what's next?
So there's I know we're looking for a traitor. Do you think that Noakes could be involved with it?
I mean, my understanding is, from all I can tell, Noakes is probably supporting Handax for that open seat. Beyond that, I don't have anything specific who they would be betraying. Like Captain Eyes, nobody mentioned him for it, so I don't know. I think we should also probably get everyone together and have a talk once everyone is sober. I'm assuming Wendy's probably in about the same state wherever she is, so maybe tomorrow morning out in the forests, meet up here, hike out a little bit of ways, make sure we're not overheard.
Flying drunken loop-de-loops overhead, banging trash can lids together. I'm painting! I'm painting!
Wendy lands on Red's shoulder, trying to perch on him, crashing to the floor.
I am sober.
You keep telling yourself that, buddy. It'll eventually be true.
I am sober.
I suppose also, have any of you been shadowed by a rat person, particularly a rather plump one?
Not that I've seen.
Oh, a plump one. Adrex says, looking at Birdie.
Birdie punches Adrex in the knee.
One of the apparently that tower, and I'll just motion over to it, is run by an all-knowing rat man with 3 children, and one of those children was trying to shadow me earlier. I lost him.
Oh boy, this is a lot of information.
Maybe we should go ask him about Handax.
Oh, but you shouldn't go in there. It would start a lot of rumors if you obviously went into the place. So if you want to sneak in there, if you want to go in there, you should sneak in when it's less obvious, or maybe have someone make a distraction, and I'll look over at Adrex.
Got it. Adrex starts walking away.
What do you do with this passed out goblin?
Do I have any idea, like, from how he's dressed or carrying what ship he's on, or if he's a local?
No, there's no way to tell who's from what ship, really. He's wearing rags and hasn't washed in a long time, and probably hasn't had a solid meal in weeks.
He's just a goblin. Let's pick him up and bring him to Mom's place.
Is Birdie going with you?
Yes.
And where's Adrex off to?
Birdie, if Adrex makes a distraction, you should sneak into that.
Okay. Oh, well, I thought... Yeah, we'll do that then.
Adrex, what did you have in mind?
Oh, Adrex is going to do a giant cannonball off the most center place in town, where everyone can see.
Okay.
Where would that be?
Pirate!
If you're looking to make a distraction so he can get close to this tower, you'd have to be doing it in this area in the center.
In this area. Yeah. Adrex
Right with the
shouts.
Fenrot.
Yeah, right there at the Fenrot.
Yeah. Adrex shouts cannonball and jumps in.
Birdie, make a hide check at advantage because you have a distraction.
Good.
Adrex, you're going to face the same issue you did in the Goblin Cave in that you just jumped into water carrying all this really heavy brewing equipment.
Oh, I thought I dropped it off at the
He
ship.
did. Wait, I thought he did too.
say that.
Did you go back to the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to do this. This distraction will be happening a little later in the day then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Because it does take me some time to get all that information.
Although my way is way funnier.
It is. It
He
is,
is
it is
wearing
way
armor.
funnier. That is very true.
He is wearing armor, though.
Would he? I guess he would.
How
be.
drunk are you?
He would probably not wear the armor.
I think...
This is astounding down here.
Hold on, I think the stream is not being...
Yeah, it's going up and down. But
I
I'm
like
not gonna
that
stop the game
Treble
to
is
fix it.
signing each of them.
Reds is just 30 stealth.
Raazu's my favorite.
Raazu's not my favorite.
Yeah, the stream's going up and down, but I'm not going to stop the game to fix it. I tweeted out that we'll archive the episode on YouTube. Nobody will have to miss anything.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, make that high check. Make it at advantage. You have a distraction. The goal
Yeah,
is to get inside this building without...
It's a 17.
17? Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm not quite red.
Okay.
This water feels amazing. Ugh.
We never did, like, figure out whether or not you were wearing armor.
You're now covered in
No.
Fenrot. And before
I
you
have no idea
argue,
what-
it's very clearly...
It is very clearly labeled.
It
It is very clearly marked there.
I have no idea what Fenrod is, so that makes it.
Birdie, you step into the bottom floor of what looks to be a repurposed lighthouse, and it's very cramped and dingy in here. There are several windows, but they're only windows in the sense that they're like just tiny open holes in the stone wall. There's no panes of glass. There's no shutters, even. And when you step in, there's a set of spiral stairs that curves around up to an upper level of the structure. You also see... What's your passive perception?
19.
19. There's a kind of very just dingy and moldy rug thrown down on the floor. And it's just years of being trampled on by seawater-laden boots has left this rug in terrible condition. And you can see in the center of it, there's a circular indentation that can only be a trap door in the floor.
Oh. I mean, I'll do the obvious thing and
Well,
throw the rug.
there's other stuff in this room.
Okay.
The main feature of the room, it's a very small room. These are 10-foot squares, so kind of a small structure. But there's two large tables here. One of them is piled high with ledgers, and like the other one has just covered with many half-eaten meals. It looks like old bones and rotting cheese and stuff. You come in and you interrupt a conversation being had by 2 ratfolk men. And they see you come in, and they both kind of stand up as you startle them as you enter. And one of them's looking you up and down, kind of in shock. Neither of them are especially fat. And the other one's just kind of waiting for you to say or do something.
Oh, I'm here looking for the fat rat.
And the 2 ratfolk exchange glances and look back at you quizzically. Have you closed the door behind you?
Yes.
Okay. And one of them speaks very accented common. You can tell he's not extremely adept in common. And he asks, "What do you want with Fat Marvin?"
Well, he was chasing he was following one of my companions, and I have a slight need to ask some questions. So I figured I'd 2 birds with 1 stone.
One of the ratfolk goes over and finds a stool with just a pile of debris on it, just old ledgers and things. He tips them over onto the floor into a pile and grabs a kind of damp and musty cloth and dusts it off. And he sets the stool down in front of the table and he gestures to it. Says, "Have a seat. Let's see if your coin is good."
Well, I'm not currently carrying any money.
And the ratfolk scoff at you. And he walks back around and makes a big show of putting the stool back where it was and just starting to pile crap back on top of it.
How much would it cost? Like, I can go get it. It's just, I need to know.
And he tells you that this conversation is more than you can afford at the moment.
Okay, then. Well, how would you guys like to trade information about a certain hand axe gentleman?
They exchange some words in their ratfolk native tongue. You don't speak ratfolk, do you?
Let's just say no.
Okay.
I think this is probably the first time Birdie's ever seen a rat folk.
No, because there's some that serve
the
aboard the ship.
First time he's ever spoken with a rat folk.
One of them climbs up the spiral stairs. The other one opens up a ledger on the table. Just it looks almost at random. He just grabs one of the ones that are stacked around. And an ink quill. And says, "Tell us what you know about hand axe. And then I'll determine whether or not that buys you any credit."
That seems kind of suspicious. Like, pay up front, and then, don't worry, we will get you the thing you need.
And he tells you, "Don't worry, brother, we can do without your business. You're the one who needs help from us."
He says, well, hand axe worked in the swamp where I was born. And he worked for the dragon that I was beholden to at the time. And potentially he could be dealing with there could be a power play going on with him and another individual I'm not quite sure I want to name right this second.
The whole time you're talking, he's kind of poised over this book as though he's ready to write. And when he waits for you a pause in your speech, he says, "Let me know when you get to the part that is new information. Make an insight check."
That is a 15.
A 15. In your adventures since you've left that swamp, you have not encountered anyone who knows much about your patron, except by distant reputation. For this rat to know these kind of details about Hand Axe's pasts kind of tells you that this is their trade. This is their expertise. This is why people pay them for information.
Okay, well, alright, fine. Hand Axe was meeting with some of Noakes' men. And really all I wanted to do was speak with Handax and ask him what he was doing here, and then it turned into this whole big thing. They lied to me about it. When I asked him if Handax was like around, they told me they didn't know.
All right. Calm down. No need to have an episode. 200 gold. We'll tell you what Handax is up to. 350 will tell you what you can do about it. He says that offer expires at sundown.
Okay. I will... Yeah. Give me... What time is it now, Brick?
If you, for your evening action, collect money and come back and pay these guys, you'll make it before sundown.
Okay. Do I have enough time to speak? Because I actually have to go and get the money from, like, the party loot.
Yeah, well... I mean, Adrex is carrying all that, isn't he?
Right, yes, that's a good point.
He's currently floating around the Fen Rot.
And he's in the bottom of the ocean, so...
It's covered in fin rot.
So I don't know what that is.
I would think of all of us, he would know what it was.
How much would it cost to find out why you guys were following my companion?
He says he doesn't know anything about that. You'd have to ask Fat Marvin, wouldn't you?
How much would it cost to speak to Fat Marvin about that?
So you're in an awful hurry to spend all your gold. Let's wait and see if you're actually good for it before we discuss other business opportunities. He doesn't think you can show up with 200 gold.
Fine. I'll be right back.
The only thing lower on the totem pole than a rat folk is a kobold. When you bring this goblin over to Mom's boarding, the original, like the first inclination is, why are you bringing the trash into the boarding house? They're going to charge... What's your intention to put this goblin up? Are you going to buy a locked room? Do we lose Red? Is my whole internet
So
dead?
does the boarding house not have? Is it only for? Basically, is there not a cheaper establishment here to stay?
There's a commons where it's basically just a couple rooms with just cots lined up for a few.
Yeah, that's
silvers.
what I was looking for.
Okay, yeah.
I was looking. I'm gonna add bluff that I'm drunk myself and ask how much for, a night's rest and a solid meal for me and my mate. He's had a bit too much to drink. Also, maybe a few drinks because I haven't yet.
They charge you 8 silver, which is higher than you were expecting, but part of that is because Mom won't let him in the commons until he's had a bath.
Okay.
And with that, one of her servants draws a tub of warmish water out back behind the boarding house, and she cuts up a bar of soap into it. And you've got this drunk, unconscious goblin.
Yep. Can I at least get my wine before I start bathing the goblin?
Yeah, she'll sell you a drink.
Is that a euphemism for something?
How high quality are you going? Because they already had a buyer this morning for the 120 gold jellied spirits.
If I can get a bottle for gold, that's fine. Like that'll do for the night.
Oh darn! I should have seen if the rat folk would have taken 100 gold worth of like small pirate trinkets.
Yeah, they can get you a cheap bottle of wine for a gold piece.
Yeah, that's good.
And what do you do with this poor goblin?
Clean him up. Get him.
As soon as you drop him in the water, he starts awake. Now, do you bother to undress him or anything, or are you just throwing him in there?
I don't feel much like washing his clothes, so like independently.
Yeah, as soon as he hits the water, he comes to and he starts splashing about. He thinks he's in the ocean. It takes you a minute to make him realize he's not drowning.
Still completely drunk though, right?
Looks like he really wishes he wasn't drunk.
Okay. Just wash up. We've got a clean bed for you. Meal in the morning. I'm gonna have a few more questions for you.
And so over the course of the next couple hours, he's sobering up. The dinner meal is going to be served. And so you're going to spend this evening with this goblin here, getting his belly full, and then grilling him about what he knows?
Yep.
All right. Windy, what's your evening action? Having spent the afternoon painting with sound.
I don't really have any plans. I might try to meet up with the others, make sure nobody's dead yet.
Okay. Over the course of the afternoon, this blur haze, we'll say that you've tumbled into Red having also purchased a cot here at the boarding house, along with his new goblin friend. Adrex was fished out of the fen rot a while ago.
All right. Yeah, if someone else has something interesting, maybe I'll join in with them.
All right.
I don't really have anything in particular for tonight.
Gwu, what is Gwu doing this evening?
Wu is gonna go rough up an orc.
Okay, so the plan is to rough up this orc, leave him where Adrex is gonna find him,
Yeah.
and then Adrex is gonna take him back to the ship to the surgery, thereby leaving Birdie unguarded.
Yes.
Excellent. I like this plan. Birdie, what are you doing this evening?
I mean, I'm gonna go. If everybody's together, I'm gonna go to get the money, explain what I'm doing, and then go back.
Are you
the
paying
money.
200 or 350?
I think we should pay 350.
Bring another 200 in case they have anything else you want to.
That's a good
In fact,
call.
just bring an even 800.
Wait,
Alright.
so we're paying people off for spying on us now?
No, we're paying them for spying on other people.
He should not be walking around with that much money.
Come with me,
Fine. All right.
like you too, Wendy. Come on.
All right. What? All right.
Sorry, I'm already 8 silver in this goblin plan, so obviously my evening is spoken for.
Yeah.
So,
by the
but-
way, your goblin plan smells.
Yeah, there's only so much soap.
Birdie splits the gold into 400 and 2 bags of 400 gold and hands a bag to each of them, so he doesn't have to carry anything.
Oh no, I'm absolutely not carrying your gold for you. I don't even like this plan.
Gwu,
Hey.
roll initiative.
All right.
As
Didn't make you carry it all.
expected, you come across this orc, having already spent the majority of his money, probably at the smokehouse. And he's just kind of passed out in an alley back behind Tukreg's. You come across him, you and Kausvig.
Initiative is a 9.
I like Adrex's bell bottoms on these drawings.
I was trying to make him wide.
Gwu's on a 9.
Okay. Oh, I guess I should roll for...
Fix to tweet them all out so the
Give
chat
him
can
those
see them.
shadow abs.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm going to use... Let's grab a D6 for old Hausvig here. We'll shrink it down because that's a pretty big dice. And he rolled real bad.
How many abs are you giving him?
So yeah, this guy is mostly passed out back
He's got a
behind
9-pack.
Tukreg.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you've got the surprise on him. He's not going to be able to act this first round.
All right. So yeah, the idea is knock it, pull an arm out of his socket. That's kind of what I'm going for here. Something that won't permanently injure him, but will require some kind of medical work to
Okay.
patch him back up.
He's unconscious, so he automatically fails his strength check to not be grappled. So you reach down and you grab him up, and he starts awake, but he's completely startled. And you grab his arm and you start twisting it.
Yep.
Kausvig kind of leaves you to it. He steps back and kind of is watching to make sure you're not drawing attention, but you're being quick and quiet.
Yeah, we're bugbears. We're good at this kind of stuff.
Roll a...
Thuggery.
Actually, Kausvig steps over as you grab him and take his arm, and he reaches over and he clasps his hands across his mouth.
Yeah.
Don't forget your
strength check.
bugbear pseudo sneak attack.
Yeah, just make a strength
What's
check.
that? What's... 19.
19. You grab his arm and twist, and you hear this sickening pop as his arm comes loose and hangs limply. And he starts crying out in a muffled way because Kausvig is pressing his hands across his mouth. And you can tell that he recognizes you. And he has no idea why this is happening. There's always been bad blood between the bugbears and the orcs on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do with him next?
I think now we mash square until he passes out.
Okay. Choke him out so he passes out?
Yeah.
Alright. I'll give him a saving throw to make sure he doesn't die. Yeah, you turn this orc into an unconscious orc. His arm is hanging limply and kind of grotesquely from
Incorrectly?
its socket. Yeah.
All right. Little nod to the other bugbear.
He says, you handle the orc. I'll go find Adrex.
All right. I will. I'll drag him over to a pile of refuse and kind of just drop him in there,
Okay.
and then sneak my way away.
Okay. Dice.
Dice.
Red. You manage to get this goblin scrubbed down. The evening meal comes around and you fill your belly. The goblin seems very wary, but he's not turning down a free meal and a place to sleep. So what else do you do to him?
I mean, I'm just gonna once he seems like he's sober, actually answer a question. So what was that you were saying about hand axe?
And he very clearly doesn't recognize you or know about anything you're talking about. I mean, he knows who Handax is. He doesn't have any recollection of ever having spoke to you or asked you anything.
Sure, so tell me anything you know about it.
And he says, you came in on the deceit, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you're serving under Ned Noakes.
I think I'm technically under the captain. I'm not sure how the high...
He asks if Noakes is still an insufferable hard ass.
That adds up.
So he asks what you care about Handax.
I heard he was in with Noakes. I was curious if they were going to cause trouble.
What information are you trying to tease out of this goblin?
Anything I can about either of these two people.
Okay, are you making this situation kind of seem like an interrogation?
Not at first.
Okay. You can tell he stalls for as long as he can, kind of giving, kind of flippant answers. You catch that he once served aboard the Deceit until the day came when, on leave at the Kovnos, he was informed by Noakes himself that he wouldn't be coming back on the vessel. They found a better hand. And he's been stuck here ever since. He hasn't been able to find a ship that would take him. And he spends a long time just kind of going over this sob story, giving him time to finish up eating his dinner. And he keeps eyeing the doors to the room. And you get the feeling that as soon as he's done eating, he's going to try to slither away from you without telling you much of anything.
So you were having ale at the tavern, right?
He says, ale, grog.
2 ales.
So you order 2 ales?
And then I want a sleight of hand the truth into his.
Okay, make that check.
How long ago did you make that? Because it's been a while.
The 2nd or 3rd session.
He's been waiting.
It's got a kind of crappy DC, so fortunately this is just a goblin.
Yeah, what's my DC?
Give me a second here. Use the skill much.
I rolled a 3. Does that help?
I have a bonus of 5, and I rolled. So I've got a 12.
Okay, so I mean he. Oh, this was a DC to see if he spotted you putting it in. Well, he's rolling a disadvantage because he's drunk and preoccupied and trying to eyeball.
And he gets a DC.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I think it's 13. Let me double check. 11 con save.
Okay. 4.
Alright, so he's poisoned for 1 hour. While it poisoned, it affects him as if the Zone of Truth spell had been cast on him.
Okay. And you're having this conversation here in the Commons, right? Just kind of in this common room with all the bunks? I can't hear Red now.
Is there any quiet place that no one would overhear? No.
If you have kind of just a hush-hush conversation, if you kind of keep track, like, make sure you're keeping to yourselves, there's a chance you'll be overheard, but for the most part, people aren't real interested in your conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's fine then.
Okay. Does he realize he's been poisoned? If it's as per the Zone of Truth spell, he realizes he's under the effects, yes?